morning, everybody. Welcome to class this morning, or at least welcome to watching me. I wanted to say good morning to everybody by name because I don't want to forget anybody, and I want you all to know that you're extraordinary. So I'm going to say good morning to the girls first. I'm going to say good morning to Karen, Aaliyah, Lucy, Melanie, Fatima, Adeline, Lily, and Eden. All of my 8 girls. Good morning. Now I have to say good morning to each of my 8 boys. And Legend, and Lemire, and Elijah, and Lasana, and Ari, and Peyton, and Liam, and Mitchell. I have 8 boys and 8 girls. I also want to give a shout out to my little bitty at home, Asher, and to Sam, who is also watching. And if you're joining us and I don't know your name, that is okay. I'm Miss Lori, and I'm saying good morning to you, and I want to know that you're extraordinary. Now, before we get started today, can you notice what's on my little, I have a cute little tray here. Can you see what that is? Buttons. And I will tell you that one of my books today has buttons in it. And it also has one of our favorite characters in it. And I'll tell you that in a minute. But first, I want to tell you how awesome you guys are. You have listened to multiple books this week by me, and I have them here. I have Is Your Mama a Llama? Do you remember this one? This had rhyming words in it and had bat and had a cow. Can we think of another animal besides our llama? It had a seal. Do you remember the seal was in the water? So this was a great book, and we read Is Your Mama a Llama? We read Caps for Sale. We read, this is one of my favorites, The Cow Who Climbed a Tree. That was so much fun. And I loved Tina the cow. I mean, she was curious, and she just did. She did not care what her sisters thought. She wanted to be curious, and she wanted to know about the world, and she listened to herself, and she wanted to know that. So she was strong and courageous too. This was I Spy with My Little Eye, which you guys loved. And then we also read Pete the Cat and My White Shoe. So we're going to count those books. How many have we read this week? 1, 2, count with me, 3, 4, 5. We've already read 5 books this week. I'd like to keep count and see while we're on this break when we can't go to school. I want to see how many books we can read, right? I have 3 books today, and so I'll try not to teach as long so that we can get all of our books in, because I didn't get one of our books in yesterday. So good morning. I'm not going to sing this morning. I'm going to do something different. I wanted to say everybody's name this morning, and we're not going to sing today. We're just going to get started with our day, and we're going to do a little cut and glue and all those kinds of things. So we're going to have fun. We also talked about our letter bucket F this week. We wrote F. We wrote the letter C yesterday for caps, and we've learned some fancy words this week too, and I should probably keep track of those. Do you remember what a fancy word for hat was? Yeah, cap. Caps for sale. A cap is a fancy word for a hat. And then we talked about another fancy word, peddler. Do you remember what a peddler was? A peddler was someone who sold things. And where did this peddler carry his things his caps? He carried them. Do you remember? Where did he stack them? He stacked them on his head, didn't he? And then Miss Lori stacked some on her head yesterday, didn't she? All right, so we're going to get started today. Like I said, we're not going to sing. I don't really have a song for today. And so I just thought we would kind of get going. I do have someone that's joining us today, though. A very special guest of honor in our classroom. We absolutely love this person. Who's this? Does everybody know who this is? This is our Pete the Cat. And guess what? Today, the books that we're going to read are all about Pete the Cat, because we love Pete. And I was thinking the other day, Lemire's favorite book was, one of his favorite books is Pete the Cat and the White Shoes. But a lot of you guys always ask for, we had kids ask for bedtime stories, Pete the Cat. We had kids ask for the buttons one. I think Karen normally asks for the groovy buttons, and so we have buttons today. And then I'm going to do Rockin' in My School Shoes, and I don't know if I've read that to you guys or not. but we're going to read those today. So we have Pete. He's going to sit here with me and remind me to keep on track for our books. And he's our special visitor today because my dog is not feeling well. So he is wrapped up in the blanket behind me on the couch. Can you see? You can't even see him. He's wrapped up. He hasn't eaten anything today, so he's not feeling well, so I'm not going to bother him. Maybe later on in the week, I'll do some tricks with Kai. I don't know any fancy tricks, but I can tell him to sit, and he'll do anything for a carrot. So I'll do that a little bit this week, but right now he's not feeling well, so he's behind me on the couch, and I'm just going to let him be. So, okay, we have buttons today. And before we get started, I want us to sort our buttons before I read. Really easy. So one of the ways I think that is really easy that we could sort our buttons is by how big they are and how little they are. That's really easy, isn't it? So I'm going to push my big buttons over here. Is this a big button or a little button? Can you see it? Yeah, that's a little button. I actually think we have 3 different sizes. So I have some big buttons. And then I have some medium buttons. That's a medium button. Look at the difference. We've been telling the story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears with the Papa Bear, the Mama Bear, and the Baby Bear. And the 3 chairs, the big chair, the medium chair, and the little chair. So I think we have 3 different sizes. Here's the big one. Here's a medium one. And here's a tiny one. Yeah. So I think we can sort our buttons into 3 different sizes. So let's do that. Let's do big. Put the big ones over here. Do you think that's a big one or a medium one? Here's medium. Yeah, that's a big one. So we'll put the big ones there. And I think we'll put our middle size ones in the middle. So we'll put our big ones over here and our middle ones over here. Do you think that's a middle size? Yeah, I think so too. And then we have our teeny tiny buttons over here on this side. Okay, got our medium buttons. I'm going to put this one as a medium button. There's a little bit of a different size gap, but they're almost the same. And what about this one? Which pile would that one go in? The big one? You think that would go in the big pile, the medium pile, or the small pile? Yeah, I'm going to put that in the medium pile. I thought so too. Put those in medium. So that's one way we can sort our buttons. We have a big pile, we have a medium pile, and we have a small pile. But I was wondering, oh, wait a minute. You know, this could probably be in the medium size. They're a little bit tinier, but I think they'll work. I want to keep our tiny buttons tiny, okay? So that's one way that we could sort them. I wonder what another way could be that we could sort our buttons. If I put everything in a big pile again, I wonder what we could sort them as. Sometimes in our classroom when we do button sorting or when we do any kind of sorting, we sort by colors, right? So I wonder if we could find different piles that have similar colors. Now, not all of our colors are going to be the exact same. You know, we talk about, do you remember our heart puzzle at school? So we have a dark green and a light green in our heart puzzle, and we have the light blue and the dark blue. So we have different lights colors, but we can put them in similar. That they may not be the exact same color, but we could put them in similar. So this you're going to probably say these are red. So we have a red pile. I don't think I have any more red buttons, so I'm going to put that over here. Let's do some greens because we have some different color greens. I don't think you can see this really well, but it is a dark green, and it's not black, it's dark green. So I've got a dark green and I've got a light green right here, and I've got another kind of limey green. Look, so there's different colors of green. Aren't those cool? I really like this limey green color. It reminds me of limes. So we've got some limey green color there. We have some yellow buttons. So this is really easy because that's a yellow one, isn't it? But this is kind of a weird yellow, isn't it? It's like maybe like a lighter yellow. But that's in the same shade of yellow. Here's another yellow here. Do you see? And then we've got this kind of yellow, right? And then we have some oranges. Oh, you know what? you're probably going to need to help me. I think that's a dark red. Do you think that's dark red? I'm going to put that in our reds. So we have a regular red, then we have a dark red. I'm going to put that there. And then we have some oranges. I'm going to move this back, move it up a little bit. See our greens? And then our yellows are over here. I'm going to do our oranges. So we have an orange here. This is orange. You're going to probably look at me and go, Miss Lori, that looks red to me. But it actually is orange. My lighting in the living room isn't great. So we're going to use that as an orange. Here's a light orange. You'll be able to see that. There's a light orange. And here is another light orange. That's tiny. So we'll put that there. Now this is getting really difficult. It really is, you can't see it, but it really is pink. That's a hard one to tell on the video, isn't it? But it really is kind of pink. And this one's hard to see too, but this one's a little bit pink too. So I'm going to put this here, and then this is really pink. We can see that, pink. And then I have one purple button. Now you're going to say to me, Miss Lori, that looks blue. And I'm going to say, do you remember when we talked about the rainbow the other day and you guys asked me what indigo was? This is an indigo button. So it has a mixture of blue and purple in it, but it's mostly purple. So we're going to put that in its own purple pile up here at the top. And then this is another, that's a blue. So we've got a blue here, my favorite. Blues, we've got a dark blue. We've got another dark blue. And then I forgot this little tiny, tiny green one. That's going to look purple on the video, but I promise if you were at my house right now, you would know that was green. And then this little kind of odd color. What kind of color do you think that is? I probably could put it in the pink category. It's kind of a weird color. So look, so we sorted our buttons two different ways. We sorted them by size, and then we mixed them all up again, and we sorted them by color in the different kind of colors. So when we get back to class, will you guys remind me? I'll get these out. It is fascinating to me, the buttons that I have, and I put them away, but I have a whole big pack of buttons that have all kinds of different colors in them. And then I have another box of buttons that I got at a store recently, and we can sort all kinds of colors out. So remind me when we get back to class and we'll do that, okay? But for my story this morning, let me get all my buttons. I only need 4 buttons. You know what? I want to do different colors of buttons. So I'm going to do a red and a green. I'm going to scrap all these off. We don't need these. I'm just going to push them to the side. And then I'm going to do 1, 2, I need 3, and then I'm going to do 4. We need 4 groovy buttons. Can you see my buttons? My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. All right, we have 4 buttons, and then I'm going to cover these up because we don't need those, right? All right, so our first book today is Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Hi, Pete. Look, there's a big blue button popped right off. Zoop. There's our loopy loops. Okay, are you ready? Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Pete the Cat. Here, I'm going to sit on this side this time. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with his big, round, colorful buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh, no! One of his buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons do we have left? If I had 4 buttons and one rolled away, how many are left? That's right, 3! 4 buttons, take away 1 button equals 3. Look at his 3 buttons. 3. Did Pete cry? Pfft, goodness, no. He kept I almost said the other song. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh, no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons did Pete have left? That's right, 2. You guys know this. 3 buttons, take away 1 button, equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh, no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons did Pete have left? 1. That's right. 2 buttons, take away 1 button, equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come, buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh, no. The last button popped off and rolled away. Answer the question correctly. You guys know how the story ends. How many buttons on his shirt were left? 0, 0. 1 button, take away 1 button, equals 0. Now, don't ruin the story. You guys know what's coming next. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come, buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. And here's our favorite part. And what do you think he saw? That's right, his belly button. And he kept on singing his song. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to say that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing our song. Buttons come and buttons go. That's right. We love our story. I love Pete. Look at all those buttons. I love those buttons. There's several. There's many. Goodbye, Pete. That was a good story. Are you ready for another one? Let's see. I think I'm going to read Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues first, and then I'm going to read Pete the Cat Rockin' in His School Shoes. Our buttons were great. We're finished with that. I'm going to put that away. Okay. Are you guys ready? All right. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Pete and the gang had had a great day. They'd been off at the beach, surf and sun, and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. So Pete had an idea. I better read from this side. We can't really see, can we? So Pete had a great idea. He wanted to keep the fun going. So he said, hey, how about a sleepover at my house? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place, let's go. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night long. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. They were getting tired, or at least Pete was. But on went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when he heard clap, 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 clap. What was that? Said Pete. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. Oh, no. It's not time to clap. This cool cat needs some rest. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Pete. It's time to sleep. Pete turned out the light again, and just as he was about to catch some Z's, he heard rat-a-tat-tat. Rat-a-tat-tat! What is that? Said Pete. Oh, that was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. It's time to sleep, people. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes. He was about to catch some Z's when he heard. Pete had a hunch it was alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, all the rat-a-tat-tatting, and the munching was giving him the bedtime blues. So Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story, and he started to read, first to himself, and then to the gang. Pete noticed it was finally quiet in the room. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, no more munching. They all settled down, and no one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned out the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some sleep. Tomorrow will be another day for surfing, sun, and fun in the sun. The end. That was a good story. Oh my goodness. That alligator and that Grumpy Toad. Do you remember Grumpy Toad was clapping? And what was Gus the platypus doing? He was banging on his drum. Rat-a-tat-tatting. And what was alligator doing? He was munching his pizza. Pizza is great for a sleepover snack. All right, I have one more book. Are you guys ready? This is Pete the cat rocking in my school shoes. What's he playing? Yeah, he's playing the guitar, the bass. He's rocking in his school shoes. What color are his shoes? Red. That's right. And he's going to school. Look, there he's getting on the bus. Taking his instrument to school. He's rocking in his school shoes. Here comes Pete strolling down the street, rocking red shoes on his 4 furry feet. Pete is going to school, and he sings this song. I'm rocking in my school shoes. Yes, I'm rocking, oh, in my school shoes. Yes, I'm rocking in my school shoes. Pete is sitting at his desk when his teacher says, come on, Pete, down that hall to a room with books on every wall. I wonder where Pete's going. He's going to a place where there's books on every wall. Let's see. That's right, he's going to the library. Pete has never been to the library before. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He finds his favorite book and he sings his song. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. Yes, I'm reading in my school shoes. What's he reading about? Can you see? He's reading about dinosaurs. We love dinosaurs. All right, check out Pete. He's ready to eat. In a big noisy room with tables and seats. Where's Pete? He's in a big noisy room. It's where we go to eat. Yeah, he's in the lunchroom. It can be loud and noisy in the lunchroom. It sure can. We can hear him in our room, can't we, guys? Because they're right underneath us. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He sits down with his friends and he sings his song. I'm eating in my school shoes. Yes, I'm eating in my school shoes. Oh, yes, I'm eating in my school shoes. Pete and his friends are playing outside on a green grassy field with swings and a tall slide. Where's Pete? Yeah, he's at the playground. Kids are running in every direction. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He slides and swings and sings his song. I'm playing in my school shoes. Yes, I'm playing in my school shoes. Yes, I'm playing, oh, in my school shoes. All day long, Pete sings his song. I'm singing in my school shoes, and I'm painting in my school shoes, and I'm adding in my school shoes, and I'm writing in my school shoes. When school is done, Pete rides the bus home. Pete's mom asks him, "What did you do at school today?" And Pete says, "I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. And I'll do it again tomorrow. Because it's all good." We love school, don't we? I know I do. And I really miss being at school, rocking in my school shoes, painting in my school shoes, counting in my school shoes, playing in the gym in my school shoes. I miss it all. We should make a school book when we get back. I'm going to make myself a note. We'll be rocking back in our school shoes when we get back to school. We can ride bikes in our school shoes. What else can we do? We can paint in our school shoes. We can play with Play-Doh in our school shoes. We can dance in our school shoes. We can play freeze dance. We love freeze dance. We can talk to Echo in our school shoes. And Echo may or may not listen, right? Echo doesn't like Miss Lori some days, does she? So those were our books today, our Pete the Cat books. Let's see Pete again. Hi, Pete. He was listening as I read today. I didn't want to leave him at school while we weren't there, so I brought Pete home. Say bye, Pete. Bye, Pete. So he's going to hang with me and the dog. And with Mickey. You can see Mickey in the background. And we're going to hang out while we're not at school, aren't we? All right. So before we end today, I want to go over another letter. What letter? G. 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 Big curve. And then we're going to turn and make that little line inside. G. Big G, little g. And that G sound is G. In our song that we love from the Phonics Man, he says, "This is the letter G. This is the letter G. G, G, gum. G, G, goat." I think it's goat first. G, G, goat. G, G, gum. And I have some more things in my bucket that begin with G. Let's see. Well, we have our goat. Miss Lori loves goats. We have our goat. We have our goat. G, G. Remember, we hear it back here. G. Can I hear it? G. Good. Goat. Hi, goat. We have gorilla. Hi, gorilla. G, G, gorilla. We've gone over this box before. Gift. A lot of you want to say present, but present begins with P. So we say gift. Here's your gift. I love gifts. Oh, we have our guitar, our red guitar, and we have some bubble gum, and we have our uppercase G, and we have our lowercase g, G. Can I hear that sound again? G. Very good. Say goodbye to our guitar. Bye, guitar. Say goodbye to our bye, gum. Say goodbye to our gift. Say goodbye to our goat. Bye, goat. Say goodbye to our gorilla. Bye, gorilla. What do gorillas do? They beat their chest. Gorilla. Gorilla. We're going to practice writing our G's tomorrow, not today. What I want for you guys to do today is to practice your name again. And then what I want you to do is find one thing in your house with some words on it. So I would find, you could find a book. You could find a cereal box. You could find anything with a word on it. I want you to look at that word, and I want you to write it down on your piece of paper. So I have all my books here. So I could grab a book, and I'm going to write the word mama. Mama. M-A-M-A. And I'm going to practice those letters. I want you to find something in your house with words on it. Anything. A newspaper, a book, a tag from a piece of clothing, It could be anything. And I want you to write that word, anything. Find something with the word McDonald's on it or Kroger. That would be great. And I want you to practice writing that along with your name. I want your name 3 times. I want a word, one word from anywhere in your house, okay? I don't want you to copy that down, all right? I would love, while we do these writing activities, I don't know how long we're going to be out of school, but when we come back to school, I would love to see what you guys have been working on at home for sure. Okay? So, I think that's it for today. I have lots more things, and yesterday's was very long video, and I wanted to make this one a little bit shorter, and focus on our book reading. So we read 3 more books today. Know that you're extraordinary. Know that you are wonderful. Know that you can be creative today, and you can ask questions today, and you can be extraordinary. That's our word of the week, extraordinary. Remember, extraordinary means extra special, and each one of you are extra special. All right, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great night, have a great day, and do something fun, and make sure you read. See you later. Bye.